Hello my dear friends, second day at the George W. Bush Presidential Library. Let's have a look at that. Good morning. So, a lot of booths here, and most of them are about mining, as I was telling you yesterday. And over there is a pavilion stage with the headsets. Okay, it's like yesterday with the miners. I have to get outside to tell you. The big news is crazy. What a great speech by Commissioner Mersinger. It was wonderful to hear. The day is starting very well. It's just getting crazier day after day, and we are getting ETH after ETH. Bitcoin is crazy. It's nearly at 100K. Yesterday, a lot of people here didn't sleep.
Obviously, since the election, we've seen a lot of movement in the crypto and Bitcoin space. Not to mention, Bitcoin may be crossing over 100K here soon. If anyone knows, yell it out, because we're all monitoring.
So about the CFTC, Mersinger, she started her speech right away by saying that regulation by enforcement was a bad idea. She even she added that the SEC was worse than the CFTC, but it felt nearly like an apology, and it felt so good. Then she tried to explain what the problem really is and why we had this confusion over the years, during the last few years. And she said it's because there are no laws that regulate crypto. So she said that she's not in favor of adding new laws, because of the efficiency concept of this administration. They don't want to just create and pass new laws just for the fun of it. But she said the problem was that the SEC and the CFTC, of course, they were enforcing laws that are not fitting the market, especially the SEC. And talking about the SEC, today is a great day too, because yesterday I told you about the rumors of Gary Gensler resigning, yes? It's now official. He has resigned and he will leave the office in January 20th. That's a very great signal. We spoke about that before, it's a very bullish signal.
Rumor is Commissioner Peirce is going to take over the crypto kind of vertical within the commission until the permanent chair is placed. And I think we're going to see her recommend some no action letters for some of these investigations that are outstanding. So I think that can all happen pretty short order come January. So we're looking forward to a January, February kind of chill on a lot of the litigation that exists today.
Great. That sounds fantastic for my view. Kyle, let's switch to you from a Trump administration. Obviously, you have a strong background in national security. Trump has made known some of his national security picks, CIA, DNI, DOD. What do you think what does the crypto Bitcoin, ecosystem look like from a national security lens? We always hear about this is a lot of this is a matter of national security. We want to keep this here in the United States. What are you seeing from your end?
Yeah. So, and as a preface to this,
what we don't know now is if the oversight of crypto will be regulated, by the SEC or the CFTC. That's a decision for the Congress to make. But either way, it's great news. Personally, I prefer the Bitcoin to be considered as a traditional commodity and given to the CFTC, because CFTC is a smaller agency. It's more agile, it's more fast, it's more efficient. So it can act fast. In the idea of the government efficiency, it would be better for us. It would be a better path to follow. But we'll see. With Gary gone, either way, it's a good signal. Let's see if it's the same for the regulations now. Okay, I don't know if you've heard, but the security guy just said that if we get to 100K today, they will make a big announcement and we'll all have free champagne. Yeah, it's really, the sentiment here is really getting crazy. It's nice. I'm happy to be there and to be there to see history. We'll see. Maybe it will get to 100K today. So I'm an ambassador for decentralization. So what you just told me is it's just great, So you work in policy.
Yeah.
And just tell me what you just told me. Just now.
Of course. So my name is Nathan Hennick. I'm the head of community at the DeFi Education Fund. And DeFi Education Fund has been super active in fighting for the rights of DeFi and fighting for the right to transact, and that has been recently looking like suing the US government. So we sued the SEC over airdrops, that airdrops should not be considered securities. We also recently partnered with 18 different US states.
And this one was 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was very recent.
Very recent. And in this lawsuit, I remember that you are suing Gary Gensler too, as the chairman.
Yeah, in his professional capacity over just getting too involved in regulatory overstep in different states that would be preventing tax dollars for those states.
And Gary, he announced his resignation like an hour
just
or
today,
two ago.
just very recently.
What's your reaction to that?
I think I'm glad he went out the peaceful way. I think it would have been a bit of a mess if it had to come to the Trump administration trying to step in to ask him to leave, fire him. He did the right thing in stepping down, and somewhat of a peaceful exit. I think he made a lot of people's lives very hard. He stifled innovation in this country. 4 years of, bad business and coming after people. I know so many different people. I talk to people almost every single week that say they so badly want to launch a business in the United States, but they do not because they're scared that they're literally going to go to prison or they're going to get sued into oblivion. So you're forcing business outside of the United States. Innovation is going elsewhere. And the U.S. is still somewhat of a leader that people look to for policy and for standards, and so we're setting a terrible precedent for the rest of the world. So it's really exciting. I think that the next 4 years we have the opportunity to really take some ground in the crypto fight. It's not that the battle is won. It's just that these next 4 years provide an opportunity for us to really shore up the defenses for crypto, for DeFi, for blockchain. That I don't think there's going to be enforcements coming after us, which is great, but we can't be lazy in these next 4 years, and we have to get policy through that is really good and positive so that for years to come, that this whole space is protected.
And who will oversight the crypto market? Do you think it will be the CFTC after that?
Ideally, it's neither the SEC or the CFTC. It's a separate asset class, just like mangoes and bananas, right?
New laws, new classes.
I think most realistically, we're looking at the CFTC. Yeah.
And maybe a trick question. I don't know if you have an idea on that, but who do you think will be the next SEC chairman?
I don't know. I think we've all seen the recent leaks of, I forget her name, but one of the famous crypto lawyers, and she's very pro Bitcoin. I do forget her name, but
I forgot to. I saw that on Twitter. Yeah.
That's all I've heard recently. But she's great. I think we know someone in my company knows her personally, and we think she'd be a great fit. But we'll see. Yet to be determined. Hopefully, someone good.
Okay, but thank you.
Of course, thank you so much.
Those individuals who really want to buy and sell cryptocurrencies will know where to go to have the protections that they deserve in the market, and they will be less susceptible to a lot of these frauds that we're seeing, and hopefully that'll start to die down because having a registered safe place for people to invest their money will give them that outlet that they're looking for.
Interesting. So I'm a former regulator from the FDIC during the financial crisis, and to shift gears a little bit, but it applies to how regulation might work in this space is the notion of decentralization.
Okay, so it's the end of the keynotes. About regulation, I think it's mixed up with everything we said during these 2 days, and I just have a little bit to add at the end of this video. So I'll do everything like what I think will happen in the next few years and maybe in the next 10 years. We'll do that just after the dinner because I have to go right now to go to the dinner with the congressman. Maybe we will have some interesting discussions too. I'll try to get a few shots to show you how it is, and I'll talk to you just after that to make a summary of these 2 days and what will happen in the next 10 years in the crypto market if it's led by the United States as they plan to do. So welcome back to the hotel room where I finish my videos. So today, it was crazy, especially with Gary Gensler resignation and with the fact that we were nearly at 100K and everyone was watching their phones, swiping, refreshing, but we didn't make it today, so no champagne for today. Anyway, what will happen with regulation? What will happen in the next few years, in the next 10 years? Let's talk about that. So, first thing first, I want to say something very important. In the United States, they have a democratic system, and oftentimes they change the party that has the presidency every 4 years. It's like alternating. So what Trump has to do now is to put everything in his power to do the maximum within the first 18 months of his mandate. That's what we have to focus on. The first 100 days and then the first 18 months on his mandate. After that, he will start the presidential campaign again, or someone else will start the presidential campaign again. And it's slower to implement new rules, regulations, and stuff like that. So we have to stay focused in 2025. Everything will be decided in 2025. What I hope is that on the first day of his mandate, he will sign the bill, the executive order to implement the strategic Bitcoin reserve. That's what would have the best impact on the crypto world. And it's very important for them too, because it's like their Belt and Road Initiative. The Chinese Belt and Road Initiative? They have that physically. The Bitcoin reserve, this strategy on crypto, it can be a solution to stay competitive against China.
And what I mean by that is that this is the largest, most decentralized computer network in the world. And when we're talking about things like China's Belt and Road Initiative that they have been developing for decades now, in which we cannot compete with. They're in Africa, they're in South America, they're doing all sorts of things to build physical infrastructure to try to increase their influence across the world. What the United States has a unique opportunity to do here is to tap into a digital Belt and Road Initiative that's already in existence with the Bitcoin network. And by doing so, you're promoting the same values that undergird the U.S. Constitution are the same principles that are the foundation of Bitcoin. And so you have a 24/7 advertisement for people to check out of their autocratic systems or corrupt governments and tap into this pro-U.S. network. And so from that high view, I view it as a huge opportunity to do things like the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, to, as President Trump has mentioned at the Bitcoin 24 conference, like to make sure all Bitcoin is made in America, that sort of thing.
It's Kyle Schnepps from Foundry who said that, and I really like this point of view. And yeah, we will see deregulation, fast, quick, efficient deregulation. We know that we are on this path already. People need that because in doubt, people just don't do things. If they are afraid that trading crypto will just put them in jail, they will not take the risk. Or if you tell them that if they trade crypto, they will have forms and tons of stuff to do, like just to declare the taxes. People just don't like the friction. So if what I think is true, the strategic Bitcoin reserve and this geopolitical point to just take power from China, they have no other choice than to deregulate fast. Of course, regarding decentralization, regarding privacy and stuff like that, I think nothing will change. If you want to off-ramp your crypto from the crypto exchanges, from the crypto decentralized wallets to the bank, you will have to go through the KYC and AML just as it is now.
Current KYC and AML rules to the crypto industry, and it may not necessarily fit in a developer environment. How does Congress sort of deal with those two competing issues where we need to ensure consumer protection, we need to ensure the stability of our financial system, but we also need to ensure that crypto companies have a model that's built that's reflective of their business?
That was the approach we took in FIT. It's the approach we've tried to take in the stablecoin legislation that Matthew McHenry has led on. We recognize that in a decentralized finance arena, you have to do things differently, even if you want to accomplish some of the same objectives. Right now, the whole system is built around regulating the intermediary.
Yeah, we'll speak about decentralization another day. So what are my predictions now for the future, in the long term? First one, stablecoins. Stablecoins are likely to become even more popular It's the best way to onboard a lot of people. It's the best link, to connect the traditional market and the DeFi. Those developments, what happened, what we talked about these 2 days, everything is just showing us that it will accelerate. Mass adoption will accelerate. The use of stablecoins will rise. I can predict too that we will have more and more institutions investing in Bitcoin. And I just wonder when the banks are gonna enter the game, but I'm sure it will be very soon. We know they are building the foundations for a more stable, a more mature market. So they will come for sure. We will lose a lot, of opportunities with that because we will lose a lot of volatility. It's a more mature market. So yeah, after this bull run, I think things are gonna get calmer and calmer year after year. I can also predict more blockchain, more AI, and I think the United States are working very hard on AGI. So the AI narrative, that is just the beginning. It's just the early days. Maybe it will explode in the next few years too. It's time, I think. And then my last prediction is about taxes. They are deregulating everything. They are onboarding everyone. So what's best for them to do? To remove the taxes, to facilitate access to crypto, to onboard everyone as fast as possible with as less friction as possible. So I think tax-wise, it will stay cool and great and interesting in the next few years. But after mass adoption is done, I think they will impose capital tax gain. They will just, increase or add again if they remove it, the capital gain tax. That's the best way for the government to make money. And that's the easiest way, I think. So for that, in the future, mid to long term, they will have to increase the tracking, the surveillance. But before that, I think we are good. And they are not talking about CBDC anymore. So yeah, that's quite nice, at least for the next few years. But mid to long term, just keep an eye on what they are doing with the taxes, especially capital gain tax. It's a smart move to do for any government. So I don't think that they will miss us on that. Anyway, what do you think about the future of crypto? Do you, like me, think that the US is leading the way? Do you hope, or are you afraid that China may wake up? Tell me everything in the comment section. It was really nice to bring you with me for those 2 days here in Dallas, Texas. And I'll just go to bed again, and I'll see you soon enough. Bye bye.